And we are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, people everywhere. We are on a special episode of the Last Run podcast, is what I'm going to call it. I'm Ace. Dude on my left, he can do his introduction, and he is.
I'm Jay Peeps, and welcome to the Last Good podcast featuring me, who is sitting in for Flash at the moment. And that's all good, because we're going to do this. We're going to do this right and everything.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to it. We got a little bit of everything. We got game 5 tonight between the Lightning and the Rangers. We got
I'll
college,
be distracted.
the Women's College World Series.
Yep.
If you haven't realized by now, I think it's kind of safe to say Oklahoma's already been crowned champions, in my opinion. It's not the first time that they've done so at Texas's expense. Um, what else is there? Oh yeah, DeShaun Watson. Jeez, talk about
He needs
hot.
to go bye-bye, and they need to forfeit those things, but we'll talk about that later. Game 4 of the NBA Finals is going to be, what, Friday? No, it's be Saturday. It's like every 2 days for some reason.
Because today's Thursday. Last night they played, so every 2 days that would be
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
No, Saturday.
Saturday. Okay. Jeez, they need to stop having it at 9 o'clock, man. That's all I can say.
It's for the Golden State fans, so it'll be 5 o'clock or whatever, 6 o'clock over there.
Dude, that is brutal. Because I'm sitting here at 9 o'clock and it feels like 11, and I'm like, we're really watching a hockey game, or not hockey, basketball. Jeez, it's brutal.
Yeah, it really is. But anyway, be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, subscribe. Kind of been going down, but we have to do the previews coming out soon, probably next month. We're looking at for the previews for every sport, divisions, how you want to call it, conference previews, division previews. Am I missing anything on the preview section? I don't think.
College previews and NFL season.
Oh yeah.
Would be
One more thing. Congrats to the Marching 100 to go in Paris. I saw.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
Congrats to them. Shout out them.
Where is it? I had it on here, and
We'll do it after the intro. Let's run the intro while you find that, and we'll get to show on the roll.
Yes, most definitely. So here it is. Here's the intro. Be back in a few seconds. Don't you go anywhere.
All right, you got the thing for the Marching 100?
Yes, I do. I was gonna put the hockey thing up first, but
okay, yes, we can do that.
But yeah, congratulations to the March 100. Going back to Paris for a second time. It was the first time was before your time, my time. It was back in, I forget. Oh my goodness, I think it was like the 80s. They got invited to participate in the French Bicentennial.
So they 1950s.
It wasn't the 60s. It was like the 70s or the 80s.
Oh no, Bicentennial have been 75, I think.
Yes, I think it was 1975. So yeah, the French, they got invited to participate in the French Bicentennial. They were selected to represent the United States. And now, once again, they've been selected to go to Paris again for this special occasion here. So, I mean, hey, look, all I'm gonna say is this. Because we can stir the pot and have fun.
Uh-oh.
Let's do it. All I gotta say is this. There's only been one HBCU band that has gone international twice, if I'm not mistaken. The French, who's an ally of the United States of America, has only called on the March 100 twice. No other HBCU band. If the international folks realize who America's band is, because they could have called Ohio State if we really want to be technical about it too. For those of you that say we don't care about HBCUs, I'm just going to say, if
no, they'll say you need to we suck on the PWIs.
Oh yeah, no, because we watch hockey and SEC football. But yeah, I mean, look, if our friends across the pond and our allies realize who the best band is, why can't some of you arrogant, figure it out?
I don't know.
No, I'm gonna say.
But let's
So
go
yeah,
talk about those PWIs hockey. Tonight, Game 5, Eastern Conference Final, Tampa Bay Lightning,
we
New
got
York Rangers
SEC
tied.
hockey, baby.
Yes, SEC Spring. Yeah.
Is this
Tied series
technically
tied
spring?
2-2.
Is this technically even spring or is this summer?
I don't know. It feels like summer these days. I mean, technically we're
Really?
in spring, I guess, for another like 10 days
I mean, look,
or
honestly,
11 days. We're
it would
technically in
actually, to
spring
me, I
for.
feel like I don't know what it is, but I feel like it would be insane if the Lightning do pull this off tonight. I'm just gonna say to myself, like Lightning in 6, because they're winning if it comes back down here.
Oh yeah.
Because
If they win, I feel like they're gonna win tonight. I hope they win tonight, but I have like a little feeling it's like, yeah, they're probably gonna win tonight. And if Point come back Game 6, which is it's trending toward Game 6, Game 7. Hopefully, it doesn't get to Game 7.
mm-hmm.
But if he come back Game 6 and in Tampa, that stadium gonna be rocking,
Oh yeah,
and
very,
that team will be buzzing.
very, very, and it's crazy to me because I feel like honestly, it's kind of been set up to where it's like, okay, the Lightning spotted the Rangers 2 games, figured it out, and it's like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, are the Lightning really about to win 4 straight after just letting the Rangers spot them 4? So I mean, it would be crazy, but it seems very much possible now.
I want if you want to go and really think about it, go back, look from the 2-minute mark in the third period. The
Uh,
Rangers haven't scored a 5-on-5 goal since, I think.
game
Or that game 2, I think it was? Yeah. Game 2, they haven't allowed they clamped down the third period.
Mhm.
And that's when they really woke up, and you can see them starting to get their legs back. They were skating good. So hopefully they could keep it up tonight. I want to see how this game starts off. It's going to tell a lot of what team's going to show up.
So
Hopefully it's not like Game 5 in Toronto where they started hot and then they went cold the rest of the game. But they stay hot the whole game.
it's actually funny. This was said by ESPN.
ESPN is no, I'm not saying. I gotta keep it clean. ESPN, we know who ESPN wants. ESPN is a predominantly New York. Half the people who work there is from New York. Half their market's New York. We know who they want, because remember the Rangers won the first 2 games and ESPN was the only time about that.
Yeah,
And then it came to Tampa, albeit on the weekend. They didn't say anything.
tis true.
Well, no, Game 4 was on Tuesday. They could have talked about it Wednesday.
Yeah, I know. No, I know what you mean. And honestly, it's like, come on, like really, like, and then the whole thing. This kind of told me like how ESPN feels about the Lightning. I've heard the term SEC hockey. I've heard on another podcast a dude say that the President's Cup winners would absolutely obliterate the Lightning, and
Sweep.
yeah,
that was the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, and now here we are. The Lightning have absolutely responded in a big way in 2 games. I mean, it's incredible. Every time.
You know the funny thing about the President's Trophy thing? But the last 2 teams who won got bounced in the second round. But guess who's made it to the finals this year? They figured it out.
Yeah. Dude, it was about time.
Big Mac figured it out. Nathan McKinnon has figured it out, I guess. McDavid, that was tough to watch for them, getting swept. But hey, Avalanche got it right, man.
I will say I'm thoroughly disappointed in the Oilers. I think they had a chance to take
They had a lot of injuries. They had a couple injuries on big positions.
They did, but they also had the lead at some point in at least 2 of those games where they could.
Yeah, 2 games they had the lead and they blew it.
I
think Game 2 and 4 they blew it.
That series should still.
No, Game 2 they got shut out. Game 1 they had it and they lost it.
Game 1 they had it and they lost it. most recent game they had it, and they just
Game 4.
The Oilers gave the Avalanche both games. That series should still be going on if the Oilers don't just feel like, if we just hold on, we can close it out or we can take this the distance.
I have been in the mindset for a long time, and it is gonna apply if the Lightning win this series, and I will say it when they play. If you have a lead in the third period against some Avalanche, you don't just dump it in and get back to play defense. You go and you try to score again and again and again, because they can score like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think this is a good thing I feel like, I don't know about you, and maybe it's because I'm still like 5 years. Well, godly, which year was that when they lost to the Blackhawks? 2015.
7 years.
I guess I'm 7 years into watching this. Technically 5, watching it fully. I feel like the East or the Atlantic is the toughest of all three divisions.
You want to hear a sad part about the Atlantic next year too?
What?
Those Buffalo Sabres actually figured themselves out at the end of this season, and they're going to be back next season with the number 1 overall pick from last year.
So what, are they supposed to be good next year? Oh, well, okay.
And they're going to get another top pick this year.
Hey, okay.
So that's 5 teams that compete. No, well, it's going to be 4 because one of them is going to fall out. If you want to talk about it, the imploding Bruins.
Oh my gosh, that's right, David Pat.
Oh, and the Senators are going to come along too. So yeah, the Bruins are definitely going to be blown up.
The Senators.
David Pastrnak. Ever since they fired the head coach Bruce Cassidy, it's gone downhill for them. Mm-hmm. They got to remember Patrice Bergeron. He's a free agent this offseason. Yeah, you guys have some. And you're already in. You have I want to say a little bit of like $20 million in cap space, but those 2 contracts will eat that up like nothing. So if Pasternak's upset, you gotta trade him because you can't lose that player for nothing. You can at least get like 3 first-round picks for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those guys you can get out a good couple of picks and some prospects to help reload fast. You're gonna see it's kind of like what the Blackhawks are gonna do this offseason with Alex DeBrincat. Mm-hmm. They're both gonna get traded, and those teams are gonna reload, but it'll give him 2-3 years. But then again, Marchand's on the wrong end of 32 or 34. He's like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Bergeron's gonna be probably gone into retirement or so. Yeah, and you ain't got no first-round pick this year.
I say it's a tough spot for Boston sports. All they really got going for them right now is
Celtics.
Yeah, the Celtics, and hoping that
they hold on.
Yeah, well, hoping too that not Daniel Jones, Mac Jones can be all that they expect him to be and take a big leap.
Not with Matt Patricia calling the offense. Not with Matt Patricia calling I ain't want to switch it over to the NFL. We'll save that for the NFL.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Boston's got it going rough. I mean, no, they're not going rough. They got it going right now. They got the Celtics in the finals. So right now they're good. Next season is when it'll probably get rough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When reality will hit.
So, yeah, with that, I guess we could swing on over to the NBA.
Yeah, it's actually a good transition point. Let's talk about these Celtics. Steamrolling again. It's been Celtic blowout, Warriors blowout, Celtics blowout. I don't know. That's like the NBA playoffs this season in general. I really haven't been a big fan of it because the series have been like kind of competitive, but then every game it's not competitive. It's a blowout. There's no coming down to the final 30 seconds. You need a bucket. Who's gonna get you one?
Right.
It's been blowout. It's kind of sad to watch, but.
So my thing now is this question right here.
Kinda. Steph's getting bullied defensively. Not like him on offense is fine, but he's getting exposed on defense.
Yes.
But then I got issues on Squidward's house and Curry knocked off Jordan Poole.
Why you gotta do? Nah, man, you ain't gotta talk about that, man.
Hey, hey, Squidward house until he shows up as Game 6 Clay, because Clay has been like I ain't even know what the hell Klay Thompson's been doing.
Honestly, I'll say this about the Warriors. I feel like they thought that this wasn't going to be as hard as it appeared to be coming into this. Because I feel like the Warriors probably thought, you know what, we can probably outshoot them and run the distance.
You could, how you could have probably seen this coming, which Flash lucky him saw. If you look at who they played this playoffs, Jokic was the only guy who really bothered them, and then it was Desmond Bain for the most part, and then it was Luka in the conference final.
Yeah,
Boston got 3 guys putting up 20 a game.
Yeah, and in the the hockey game that started, you could tell he distracted. But yeah, I mean honestly, and then the Celtics, they had to go through pretty stiff competition, and they had to work.
The Celtics had growing pains. It's kind of like what happened with the St. Louis Blues in 2019. They were like at the bottom of the league standings. Everybody was talking about, let's blow it up with Tatum and Brown. You got to blow it up. And somehow the light just switched off, and they ran, and they didn't look back. They swept the Nets, and then they dogfighted the Bucks, and then the Heat, both in 7, and both game 7s they showed up.
Because it's safe to say their path getting here has been easier,
harder than the Warriors.
Or not easier, but harder than the Warriors. Yes, my gosh. Oh, it's the end of a week full of exams. But I will say, it's, as I posted this question up too, I will say honestly, the Warriors got to figure something out, because if they don't, they're in trouble. And Klay Thompson does need.
Did that hit the post and out? That looked like it went in and out.
Yeah, that hit the post and out. He's referring to the hockey game right now, guys. It went off of the left post and went out.
Ed looked like that went in and out.
Nah, it didn't go in and out.
I know. That's from the I'm watching on my phone, so it's kind of small to tell anything. But
I was gonna say, I mean, if anything, you're right on point, honestly.
Oh, it hit right on the front of the post.
Yep.
Oof, that's a tough one. Oh well, they'll get back.
Also, too, this thing about Draymond is getting blasted. I will say, I respect what he did, how he came to the defense of current players nowadays with the whole discussion of the game back then versus the game now, and he's always saying, guys like Bill Laimbeer and stuff, they were able to get away with what they got away with because the fine was not what it is now.
Bad boy Pistons.
Say again?
I said bad boy Pistons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and honestly, it does. He does have a point with what he's saying.
They flipped out when he kind of did that thing with Tatum at the end of a free throw.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, just go back, watch the late 80s, early 90s playoff rounds.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just put it on the tape and watch.
Exactly. Yeah. And the thing is he's right. If you would have gotten in a fight back in the late 90s, honestly, too, if you'd have gotten in a fight, or even honestly the early 2000s, if you'd have gotten in a fight back then, the fine is not as dire as a fine is now, with the added couple games suspension coming up too. So I see his point, but again, I will still stick true to the fact that, was basketball more physical back then? Yes, it was. Is the game in favor?
The rules have changed.
It's
not like the players has changed. It's the rules, and JJ Redick and CJ were kind of talking about this the other day when they flamed Stephen A. It's like, you can't fault the players for playing the way how the rules give it to them.
Yes,
because they were saying like, oh, these guys are soft nowadays. It's like, they're not soft. They just play to the way how the rules let them play.
Yes, and again, and I say the same thing with football. When the game first started, you go back and look at the old school formations that football had: the Maryland I, wing T, wishbone, all these things, the power I.
Yeah.
See, my thing is, nobody really knows what a Maryland I looks like anymore. Be honest with me. Do you know what a Maryland I looks like?
No, I know power I.
Yeah.
I don't know the Maryland Eye.
The Maryland Eye. It's, I want to say, 2 fullbacks and a running back.
You mean 4 guys in the backfield, including the quarterbacks, of 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the Maryland Eye. And I mean, and then of course, see, things like that you don't see anymore because of the way the times have changed. The game is spread out now and up tempo.
Kind of like college.
Exactly. Yes, and passing the ball is more popular because that's what sells tickets.
2-on-1.
Versus,
damn, got broke up.
Versus, back in the day, running the ball was very popular. Same. Passing
ground and pound.
Exactly. And eventually, as with time and all things associated with time, things will reset and go back to the way they were. Running the ball will be popular again here soon, and people will go to stadiums to see guys.
I'm going to add on to this, but I'm kind of interrupt. I'm going to bring it back to the NBA section. You're seeing it actually now in the playoffs, the early rounds of the playoffs. It wasn't the 3-pointers that was carrying the teams like how the game changed in 2015. It was actually the mid-range that made the comeback, and you were seeing the guys, the way how they were getting through is because of mid-round. You saw with Tatum and Brown, they were killing the mid-range game, getting to the paint. It wasn't all just threes, but now in the finals, it's a barrage of threes right now, but that's not sustainable. They'll go back into the inland.
It's not. Because, I mean, honestly, I think one of the first things that does need to be established is a mid-range shot.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like every basketball player, basketball 101, should know how to execute a mid-range shot and how to, of course, the basics of dribbling, and then also to how to maneuver him or herself in the paint.
And that is why I do not ever think Markelle Fultz will be a bust. And that is why I think he will win most improved player of the year next year too. Because he got every single thing down that you just said. He knows how to get to the mid-range. He was shooting, I think, 3rd in the NBA in mid-range behind CP and DeMar. And he was top 10, I want to say, in getting to the paint. And if you just watch him play, he can get to the paint whenever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
As a guard, you don't see that often. You see like a John Morant flying over somebody.
Right.
To get in.
I'm telling you, dude, honestly, if there's anybody that reminds me of AI, it's him.
He reminded me of like if AI and Westbrook had a kid.
Exactly. See, again, and like I said, with the whole thing of working the ball in the paint, knowing how to play in the paint, and having a mid-range, it's vital. I say this as someone that grew up watching Alonzo Mourning and Shaq. I mean, take that for what you want, but learn how to. I watch those types of guys and learn how to play. You learn how to play in the paint, watching those guys. And then you got guys like AI and stuff who could shoot threes, but also had mean mid-range shots. Kobe as well. So
we had I was the big 3 era with Boston.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, so you missed those Pistons.
Who was 07? I'm forgetting who was 07. Miami was 06. Who won 07?
07 was, oh my gosh.
Was that Boston? No.
It wasn't Boston. Boston was 08. It was
10. Oh, we didn't 10. No, Lakers was 10.
Oh yeah, the Lakers was 2009 and 2010. Because Kobe won 2000, 2001, and 2002.
And then he went back to back with Paul Gasol.
Yeah, that was 2009, 2010. 2003 was the Spurs. 2004. Oh no, 2007 was the Spurs, I believe.
Okay, that was the Tim Duncan.
Yeah,
early days Spurs.
2004 was, I want to say, the Pistons.
The Pistons. Yeah, that was the Pistons.
Ben Wallace and all those guys.
Yeah.
Jeez, wow. Golly, I've been watching a lot of NBA Finals.
Yeah, I was 1 year old when that happened.
Jeez. Well, I'm sitting here
up there. But I mean, you want to talk about the draft? So Jabari Smith made his first workout of his draft. I don't want to say like prelude, I guess is the word. Draft prelude, where pre-draft process. Did a workout for the Magic, 2 hours long. I will say this, it got pointed out today. I kind of knew about it, but I forgot about it until they mentioned it. The Magic don't draft people that they confirm workouts for.
Oh yeah, of course not. I don't think
Well,
anybody
some
does.
of them were like they got drafted to pick 4, like Trae Young, or some of them. This is back in the old regime when they went Mario Hezonja instead of confirmed workout Devin Booker, who actually wanted to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's and Chet Holmgren's going next week. So I'm just like, I haven't heard a single word on Paolo Banchero yet, and that's plus 2,500.
Mm-hmm.
I really think it's probably Paolo or horrible little situation to go Keegan Murray, which I doubt, or it's a trade down. And there's like part of me that thinks it's gonna be like, remember that Fultz Tatum draft where Boston knew who they wanted and knew he was gonna be there at 3.
Right.
So they got the extra 2 firsts or the first from with Philly, and they swapped for 1 and 3. So if they can convince the Rockets to probably draft night, they do Jabari Smith swap with Banchero, because I think Holmgren's gonna go 2. Worst case, you see that happen. I don't know. That's just how the Magic work as a franchise. But generally, whoever they go with 1 works out. I mean, or 3.
Right.
So
Interesting.
I'm not too worried. There was a whole thing on one of them podcasts said, "Cheer the pick, not boo the pick," and it was ironic because one of the other Magic people found the video of when Franz Wagner was picked last year, and they were upset about the pick. And that's just how they work. Because the Magic generally on this era, they pick the right guys. Just you don't know about it until afterward who the guys that they want. With that being said, and what they want, I have a question for you. I don't know if you put it into the thing. You want to go Hot Topics or NFL first?
We can go Hot Topics. Well, it's all in Hot Topics.
All in one. This is the question I wanted to ask you. I had a lengthy Twitter debate about this one earlier, and I thought it was a good topic to ask you.
Would have best career play healthy?
Like if they never got hurt.
I honestly don't think that Todd Gurley's problem was injuries. I think it was just the arthritis that caught up to him.
Well, that's what I mean. That's the injury.
Christian McCaffrey, I don't know. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of people talking about how nice he was coming out. Something told me he wouldn't last long internally. I felt like he would.
He went 8 overall, but he had 30. Like he had a crap more ton of like touches than Kamara ever had, and Kamara matched him in production his whole career.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, dude, I kind of knew that he wasn't going to last long. He wasn't. I hate to say it like that, but I'm gonna be real with you, because I mean we're seeing like Christian McCaffrey not be consistent right now. Like early in his career, like coming out of Stanford right away, yeah, he was hot, but he's kind of fizzling away. Now, honestly, I will say I think Todd Gurley, if he didn't have to deal with the arthritis and everything, I feel like Todd Gurley would have been the best of the 3. David Johnson, I think, would have been in like second out of these 3. But I do believe
David Johnson was just like a different level.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, definitely Todd Gurley though, because Todd Gurley. Imagine Todd Gurley still with the Rams now. Minus
I know the contract got bad, but if his knees didn't get out, like that Rams team, exactly like what you said now with Cooper Kupp getting that deal, Aaron Donald getting them deals, but still,
imagine, because I mean, Cam Akers is the running back 1.
He wasn't efficient. He wasn't that great.
He wasn't. He's a physical runner, but honestly, imagine him and Todd Gurley, Thunder and Lightning, in a rotation. Imagine what that could have been. I mean, it is scary to think about, but yeah, I mean, out of these 3, I definitely think Todd Gurley. I definitely believe Todd Gurley would have been the guy. How about you? No, what was who were you?
Oh, I had Todd Gurley, and I said it wasn't close between Todd Gurley and anybody else below him. And this dude came out and he was putting his whole thing, getting mad because I said it wasn't close, and he was trying to make this whole thing about Christian McCaffrey. And I'm like,
did he call you a peanut sucker too?
nah, but a LA fan found the whole argument thing, and he said, "Stop being a sim for CMC." And I'm like, "What?" The other dude, he was telling like, "Why are you being a sim for CMC?" He was like, if you watch football and you saw what Todd Gurley was doing, that was just a different level of running.
Oh yeah,
and he was killing people.
Dude, because honestly, I think he would have been. Well, I mean, honestly, we're kind of seeing Zeke kind of fizzle out because honestly, you don't even have to shut down Zeke to beat the Cowboys anymore.
Tony Pollard should have been starting toward the end of the year, but
I know
$16 million a year kind of makes you have to start.
Yeah.
Okay, this puck is in way too much time in the lightning zone. Let's get it out. I don't like it being in there so long.
But the other thing too is I know you asked this too. Where do the Bucks and the Saints match up in the NFC standings?
Like the conference, where do you want to put them? I was gonna say like 1-3, 1-2, because if you look at the end, or at least 2-3, because you have to give the Rams their due diligence at 1.
Yeah, honestly, that's my. Because let's see, out west in the NFC, the threat is LA, the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
The North,
I don't know in San Francisco right now. They can't figure out their quarterback stuff. I need to see Kyler Murray win in December before I even give them any credibility in Arizona.
Up north, you got Green Bay.
Some stuff to figure out.
Yeah. Up north, I got Green Bay.
You can't replace Devontae like that.
Exactly. And I think Christian Watson is going to be a great player, but I don't think that he's going to take over the league right away. I think it's going to take some time. And I think Aaron Rodgers' own greediness is going to cost this team. He's it's like Stink said. Aaron Rodgers is too cool. He's too cool. So I think him being too cool gets him in trouble. So I mean, honestly, I don't really portray the Packers as a threat. And then anybody else that comes in second behind the Packers, maybe it's Minnesota. I don't really see them as a true threat.
Like Kirk.
Yeah,
Mediocre money Kirk.
Yeah, I sorry to Coach Lemke, but I don't know. NFC East.
I got no faith in them right now. None of those teams. Philadelphia.
Philly's good.
I got more.
I know. Eagles are good, but I don't know. They're not touching the Bucks or the Saints right now. And then of course the NFC South is Tampa Bay and the Saints. So I definitely say Rams. And then for now,
I give Bucks over the Saints right now because at least they got Leftwich. And his offense. I got to see what Carmichael works, how he works it in, and how Michael Thomas comes back with the ankle. He's already running back against. That's good.
And I need to see a full season of Jameis.
Yeah, I know. Sean had him on the handcuffs until they played the Bucks. That game was when he was finally started to get going, and then it came out. But I want to see how he warms up with the knee.
Yes, yeah. And then
Kamara's gonna get a 6-game suspension somewhere in between. So
exactly,
we shall see how it works.
So and then the thing is too is see this whole thing of putting together this all-star roster or all-star receiving core talent was done once before with Jameis in Tampa with DeShaun Jackson and
they didn't have the offensive line is where I'm going to put the difference.
Exactly.
And the running back.
They never did. They never had the. They
had Peyton Barber as the best back on that team.
Exactly. And then I think what Doug Martin he fell off with that drug issue and stuff.
Why is the puck still in the lightning zone? It was like the entire period the Bucks been in the lightning zone. Let's get the hell out of there.
I thought they scored on that.
Who?
I thought Lightning.
You're ahead of me. Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That scored. Or that hit the post too?
I thought that went in.
That looked like it hit the back and out.
I thought it went in. But
Bro, what? You're ahead of me on the stream, but still. Bro, what?
But yeah, I definitely say Rams, Bucks, Saints. I think
that's why I agree with that.
A lot of the success Jameis Winston has this year will dictate how far the Saints go.
I say the health of his knee and Michael Thomas's ankle will dictate how far they go.
Oh yeah, I think Michael Thomas having had a year off will be fine.
I think if I had to guess how much Olave is gonna get, I think Olave is gonna get about 1,000 and at least 8.
Yeah,
I give him 1,008.
yeah.
I think Juice is. Landry's gonna be more of the wide receiver 3, working underneath, like the safety blanket, like how Adam Humphries played that role for Jameis.
He's gonna play the same role that he played in Cleveland towards the end of his time in Cleveland.
At least he'll be able to get a pass in his hands.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look. Honestly, if you look at the Browns, hey,
Speaking of Cleveland, let's talk about that.
Look, it's like that thing where it's like we're trying to, you know how when you have the tenant that's trying to get rid of the client, so to say, and he can't get rid of him for X amount of reasons.
You mean the owner trying to get rid of the tenant?
Yeah, the owner's trying to get rid of the tenant and stuff, and like he can't for X amount of reasons. The Browns are the client. Baker Mayfield is the tenant. The Browns can't get rid of Baker. They still have to be invested in him. Because honestly, this whole thing with Deshaun Watson may not even be on the team by time.
Baker should spite them so hard and say, "I'm never playing for you again. I don't care what happens with Deshaun. I will never suit up for you again."
Honestly, he could have, because he could have gone somewhere else.
He should just say, "Screw the money. Like, I'll take a restructured deal and just go somewhere else and improve it with someone else and let them give you the money."
Exactly. And then the whole thing about Odell Beckham possibly coming back and stuff.
Odell ain't going. Odell ain't coming with the way how Deshaun's situation's going right now.
Exactly. That's not happening. That is not happening. He's not going there anymore. And then plus the fact too that he may have to play with Baker again. Nah, bro. Forget about that.
It'll be either LA or New Orleans, and I doubt New Orleans signs him.
I feel like it's not going to be New Orleans. If the Rams,
it's going to be LA.
Look, at this point, I feel like the cap does not even exist anymore. I feel like someone's turned off the cap in this simulation of Madden for this coming season. So, I mean, you never know. He might just end up playing for the Rams. That's my take of that.
I agree.
The other thing too, that
for reasons like Cooper Kupp getting a 3-year, $110 million, Aaron Donald getting $90 million. You have $200 million away just so, and you're already paying Stafford $150.
Exactly. You got all this money. That's why I say the cap just doesn't even exist.
But yeah, I'm with you there.
Jake Arians.
I don't think they saved that much money when Todd Gurley's contract came off the books. Mm-hmm. I know they were still paying Gurley money, and they still was paying Goff money last year, but I didn't think they'd save that much money to pay these two guys that amount of money. But evidently so.
There was something that Jake Arians was saying for our friends over there at the Bucking Idiots podcast. Jake Arians was saying, like, you know, that the way some of these contracts are structured, never say never on certain things. So it wouldn't, now that I've heard that, it would not surprise me if the Rams went out and got back Odell Beckham. Same reason why now, after hearing that, it wouldn't surprise me if the Bucs managed to somehow bring back Ndamukong Suh.
Oh yeah, I heard something about that. But like, well, they're gonna have 4 defensive tackles. They're gonna just rotate.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's a brilliant idea. It's a brilliant idea, if you ask me. But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, because I mean, if there's anybody that knows the ins and outs of this better than anybody, it's Bruce Arians' son. Because I mean, he's grown up with this, he's seen it, so that is someone to consider knowing the knowledge of this. And just
I can get with that.
Not even just from a Bucs perspective, but like an NFL entirety perspective. But also too, the other thing too is Deion Sanders and Jackson State graced the cover of Sports Illustrated. They are now the 4th FCS team to do so. The first one being Eddie Robinson's Grambling Tigers, I think back in 1984 it was, 1987. Then after that it was 1994, Steve McNair at Alcorn. And then after that, it was, I think you remember this very well. After Labor Day weekend in 2007, it was Appalachian State walking into the big house and upsetting Michigan.
Yeah, yeah. I think so. Yeah, App State. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at the time they were FCS because now they're in the Sun Belt and they're FBS. But yeah, so Jackson State now the fourth FCS team to grace the cover of Sports Illustrated. However, also too, well, no, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there. Not gonna do it. But yeah, so I mean, kudos to them. I know some people want to say, I hate that they did this and stuff, and why are they doing this and whatnot. But I mean, hey, Deion is bringing awareness and doing what he said he was going to do. And then also too, he had his response set for Nick Saban. And I think I actually have it.
You got it? Yeah, I saw it. I was like, you got it right now?
Yeah, so he had a response set in stone for Nick Saban and said, to insulate, the only way we could acquire somebody like this is to pay them $1 million. That didn't sit well with me. And that was Deion on Nick Saban's comments about Jackson State. And then Jackson State's AD, Ashley Robinson, said there's been no hire who made a bigger impact on the program than Coach Prime. Which, honestly, I look at that and I'm just like, oh my goodness. Ultimately, I'm sitting here thinking, like, if you look at this issue of Sports Illustrated, if there's ever a reason to, like, not like Alabama, if for someone that doesn't like Alabama to have ammunition, this is the article, or this is the issue of Sports Illustrated that you need to go get.
Nah, what got me was, I know all the stuff Prime said, but Saban ain't helping himself when they have pictures of him meeting the highest rated quarterback prospect of third grade. Third grade.
Nick Saban really met a third grade QB prospect? So, oh, wow. Okay, so that actually means
that kid ain't even 10 years old.
That's insane. And then on top of that, he's trying to get Arch Manning to go to Alabama.
No, Arch Manning isn't going.
Oh, I know. I think Arch Manning is going to Georgia, in my opinion.
No, that's an interesting one. I never heard of Georgia being
Did you not
about.
see the official visit he took?
When? I have not been paying attention to Arch Manning in a while.
The photos and everything, like there were I think 20 different top high-ranked prospects on Georgia's campus. And he was
okay, Kirby. I see you, Kirby. Trying to keep it up.
Kirby is dealing.
Kirby working.
Yeah.
He wheeling it.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you think Kirby's playing. Kirby is not playing. And then
Kirby going for another. He said, I want another.
And then I'm gonna be real with you. I think
he was like Thor in the first movie. Like he threw the coffee cup on the ground. He's like, I want another.
I can honestly tell you, I don't say this at all about prospects coming out of high school, but I think there is one kid that I know for sure will not be a bust in the NFL. It's Arch Manning. His family bloodline will not let him be a bust. They just, unless he suffers some type of career-ending injury, like his dad, he's not. He's going to be fine.
The genetics.
And no, because literally, it's literally be like, all right, sit here, son. Look at these old Saints highlights. You see what your granddaddy went through? We're gonna make sure you don't end up like that.
Don't take a bad team. Make sure you get the best offensive line. Whoever's got the best offensive line in college football in 3 years or 2 years now, right?
It's gonna be
next year.
It's gonna be Georgia.
Yep.
And then the other thing too is it's gonna be like this. And then he's like, look, you see what we did for your Uncle Eli right here, where he was about to go to the Chargers, but then we said no, we reneged, and now he ended up in New York.
And be same thing with you. Same thing with you.
He's like, you wanted, they want you to go to Detroit, huh? Nope, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Who do you think would have what year is he draft eligible? Like 2026, right?
Oh my gosh, what are we in now? 2022?
Yeah.
I think I
want to say it's 26.
2026.
Who do you think will be the third worst team in 2026? Or the fourth worst team? That's who we'll say Arch Manning is going to go to.
Detroit. I think by then too.
Detroit will be like number 1, number 2.
You want to know what would be crazy? Is if the Bucs end up if Tom Brady retires, Bruce Arians is still in a front office position with the Bucs. Tom Brady still stays here. The Bucs fall purposely and manage to get him with the first pick.
What do you think it's going to be called? Tank for Arch or Fall for Arch?
It'll be Fall for Arch. It'll be Fall for Arch.
We need to get that trending. Hashtag Fall for Arch.
What are you going to do? You going to tell the Saints to start sucking in about a few years and get Arch Manning?
Nah. I don't know what they're going to do. We shall see. I don't know. I can't tell you what's going to happen in 4 years. I'll be how old will I be? God, I'll be 23. Ugh.
You'll be 23. God,
yeah.
You are just a baby. Jesus.
You'll be 32. No, you'll be what, 30? You'll be 30 in 4 years.
You know what, folks? I think that's going to do it for tonight. Folks,
yeah, though I need to figure out how to get an offense going right now. So, yes, I need to go outside and work some magic.
Folks, we appreciate you, man, to talk about my age and stuff. Folks, I appreciate
we need to talk about the ladies, man. Oklahoma, congrats for winning it. We're going to say that right now.
Yeah, go ahead and congrats for winning it. Oklahoma already midseason form, basically embarrassing Texas in all facets. I think it was football, probably basketball, and, of course, now softball. Yeah, dude. Oklahoma ladies, if you haven't seen them yet, you need to go watch them. That's real.
Nah, I saw them was it yesterday, right? No, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm losing track of the days.
It was yesterday. You need to go watch them because those girls are for real. They are scary.
College softball is so competitive is I think the best word.
It is. I like it. I like it, honestly. I like it better than the men's, if I'm being real.
Yeah, I don't like men's college baseball at all.
I mean, I think Tennessee's the clear-cut favorite right now, given their record. But Oklahoma, dude, oh, my God. And then there's no 10-run rule either, which is the scary part.
If they beat somebody like 17 to like
Texas is actually up right now 2-0 in the top of the fourth. Oklahoma.
Yeah, they'll come back. I'm going to say final score of 5-2 Oklahoma.
Honestly, it might be worse than that.
I'm being generous to Texas, all right?
Oklahoma's already up at bat. I think
I don't want to be a complete buzzkill for people.
So, that'll be interesting. But all right, folks, yeah, that's going to do it for us this evening. We hope you've enjoyed.
The last run podcast, had a good game. I was interrupting JP, that's how it works for me. It's all right. It's all fun and games.
Talked about my
halfway distracted.
Talked about my age, so I think I better go take my dentures out and stuff and go. Yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna go dye my hair black back. I don't need no gray hair. I'm sorry. All right, be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, subscribe. Go Bolts. We don't want the Rangers. Otherwise, it's go Avs if the Lightning lose. But yes, that's going to do it for us tonight. Last Run podcast. Hope you guys stay safe, stay blessed, and keep good out there. Do the right thing sometimes. Don't be going crazy like half these other people out there. And with that,
respect your elders too, America.